Well, the world is exploding. Things are going one way or the other. No one knows how to plan for tomorrow. There are no sports going on, which has got to be driving people crazy. And I got to tell you that some of the things that we do here, which is I'm the sports trader. I trade sports like you trade stocks. For the first time in the history of this, of the entire time I've been doing this in my whole life, the markets are closed for me. So what I've been doing in the meantime is I've been trying to find new markets that I can play around in to keep myself busy until my real markets open up. So today, what we're going to be talking about are the odds for the U.S. election. Now, these odds are going to come to us right from Las Vegas. Before I go any further, I want to say two things. First of all, this show in no way supports one candidate over the other. To me, politics and politicians themselves are more for my entertainment, because to me, I can make fun of both of them, both sides, than it is for me to pick a side. So I'm not supporting Donald Trump, nor am I supporting Joe Biden. I will, however, throughout this entire segment, probably make fun of both of them. So if that's going to offend you, then please turn this off. Now, if you're still here, let's talk about the election odds for 2020. Now, obviously, there's a lot going on. The coronavirus and things like that. The economy is going to go in the tank. I mean, there's really no way about that. The money that they were supposed to give people, half the people got it, half the people didn't. It's just been a total cluster mess from the beginning to the end. If anything, this entire experience should teach us that we need less government and not more, because from every level, from the state all the way up to the federal government, whether you lean to the left or lean to the right, everybody has pretty much screwed up at some point, such as humans do. So let's talk about, first of all, if you didn't know this, there are odds that Vegas puts out every year for the election. And what people will always say, and this is something you may have heard, is if you want to know who's going to win the next election, just look to Vegas. Vegas is never wrong. Well, the reality of it is Vegas is wrong quite a bit, and a lot of people just don't know it. So we can go back to last year where they told us that Hillary Clinton was going to win, and at one point, whenever Donald Trump was one of the 9 or 10 Republican candidates, he was 2,500 plus 2,500 to actually, so it was 100 to win 2,500. So he was 25 to 1 to actually win the president of the United States. If you would have put $10,000 on Donald Trump last year and said he's going to win and be the president of the United States, you would have made yourself $250,000. That's a lot of money. Now, as we got closer to the actual election, the odds actually went down. Donald Trump was at +1 to 190, and Hillary Clinton was still a huge favorite at -275. So you still could have made some money off of Donald Trump. But the point is that Vegas was not right. Well, the election prior to that, they did predict Barack Obama over Mitt Romney, but the election prior to that, they were sure that Barack Obama was not going to win, and he did. So this tells you how much Vegas actually knows, which it's just a preface to the next screen that we're going to show you, because I'm going to show you what the odds are right now for the 2020 election. Now, keep in mind that these were like last week. This is the most recent odds that were out. Keep in mind that we're still months away from the actual election. There is a lot of ball game to be played. There are going to be debates, and just like in a sporting event, these odds will change a lot based on where the money goes and where the books think they need to adjust it in order to keep the money even. So, if you want to look at it, we can do it real quick. This will show you actually the last 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the last 6 times they've done this, which usually happens like once a week. Trump has stayed pretty steady in his numbers, actually. And Biden has actually stayed pretty steady in his numbers as well. Now, Trump is a small favorite, but Biden is not really that far behind him. And this will show you how incredible both candidates are. I mean, just amazing. I mean, when you put a game show host against a guy with dementia, these are the kind of odds that you're going to end up with. Some interesting stuff that's in here, though. Andrew Cuomo is actually plus 3,000. Now, Cuomo on April 2nd, his odds were actually much better. So he is either, one of two things has happened here. Either some of his shine is starting to come off, which is probable, or people are actually listening to the fact that Cuomo keeps going on TV saying, I don't want to run for president. So Mike Pence is plus 6,000, though. And that's actually pretty odd. So I guess they would assume that Trump would not make it to November, which would be, maybe that's a bet on coronavirus. 6,000 plus 6,000. Interestingly enough, Hillary Clinton is still hanging in there. Now, this is a woman who hasn't campaigned, hasn't said she's going to run, hasn't done anything, hasn't spent $1, but she's still hanging around over there. So it'd be interesting to see what happens here. In my personal opinion, this is strictly an opinion, I question whether or not Joe Biden will actually physically make it to the point where he's going to be able to be elected. There are some concerns that I have watching him on TV as far as his mental acuity. So if he were to fall out, it would be interesting to see who would fall into his place. So if you're looking for a long shot bet, if you're looking to put a little money out there, throw $100 on something, it'd be interesting to see, Andrew Cuomo or Hillary Clinton to see what kind of payoff you get on that. So we don't normally cover sports. Politics here. We normally just cover sports. But again, with sports being so out of it right now, with nothing going on with sports, I thought it'd be kind of fun for us to cover. We covered it here. We also covered it on our website, which is sportstradingsystems.com. There's a link in the description below. You can go check it out. While you're there, you can sign up for our newsletter so we can send you cool information like this. And you can read this article that we wrote, which is actually pretty cool. I didn't write it. One of the guys in the ScoreMetrics lab, which is our research department, actually did all the work to do most of this and find all this information so I was able to share it with you and pretend like I knew what was going on. Actually, Mika did all the work, but whatever. It worked for me. I was able to make sure I was able to share the information with you, and you guys now know what to do in the next election. Who are you going to bet on? Actually, you don't know anything. Most of you probably won't even vote, let alone bet. But anyway, we're going to try to keep giving you cool content like this, as well as talk about what's happening in sports. I got a great review coming up here soon. I have a line on some information for Major League Baseball that I'm hoping is true. I'm going to share it with you in the next segment coming up after this.